afternoon, it's Thursday, July 25, 2024. Peace is a path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. On the news this afternoon, police fired tear gas at healthcare center in Port Harcourt metropolis. Port Harcourt-based lawyer worried over impact of conflicting court orders on judiciary. Military warns August 1st protesters against anarchy. Building collapse kills 5 workers in Lagos. And on the foreign scene, police officer suspended after Manchester airport kicking video. I'm Ifechuku Moyle with the news. Now, police say they are investigating the attack on the Model Primary Healthcare Centre Elioso in Port Harcourt metropolis on Wednesday. The police public relations officer in the state, Grace Iringikoko, said in a message that the police received a distress call from the health center in Elioso, where she said supporters of the 2 separate political factions in the state engaged in a fight. SP Iringikoko said the police responded by sending operatives to the scene to restore law and order. She said the police deployed anti-riot tactics, including the use of canisters to disperse the crowds. Now, earlier, an eyewitness told our correspondent that the police fired tear gas at the Elioso Healthcare Center. The eyewitness said she had just arrived at the health center when the incident happened. She says scores of women and children who had gathered at the health center scampered for safety. The eyewitness said heavily armed mobile policemen took over the premises of the health center. She said the women and children had gathered to receive free medical care ahead of the flag-off ceremony by the River State government to mark the first round of Maternal, Newborn and Child Health Week. The healthcare center, which was the venue of the flag-off, is close to the residence of Martin Amehule, who is the leader of the 27 lawmakers loyal to the FCT minister Nyesom. The event had to be moved to the building of the State Primary Healthcare Management Board at Waterlines, Port Harcourt. In other news, a Port Harcourt-based lawyer, Vincent Chukwu, says the conflicting court orders over the conduct of the PDP congresses in River State are capable of further ridiculing the judiciary. Mr. Chukwu, while speaking on the 2 different court orders, in an interview with correspondent Soebi Oruware, said the Abuja Federal High Court seems to act as an appeal court in the case. He said the 2 high courts have the same jurisdiction and their orders have created alternatives for parties to select which one to obey.
Coordinate jurisdiction which has actually given and made an order, or the matter is before it, another court of the same power and strength cannot overrule it. It is nothing but abuse of the judicial process. The implication of the whole thing is that anybody who wants to obey any particular order which suits him, since that order appears to be like sitting on appeal or a counter to the order of the same court of equal jurisdiction, any court of coordinate jurisdiction do not have such power to sit on a ruling or order of a court of coordinate jurisdiction.
The lawyer, however, explained that the Abuja Federal High Court cannot claim that it's not aware of an existing order involving the same case.
If the order, the second court, was not aware, either due to the inadequacy of technological communication or otherwise, a court cannot entirely absorb itself of ignorance of the existing order on the subject matter, because in recent times our courts have been equipped with some state-of-the-art technology to actually track decisions, even updates in decisions of court. That court cannot entirely be absorbed of the ignorance of the decision of the same court of equal jurisdiction in Port Harcourt. It cannot entirely absorb itself.
Recall that a high court sitting in Port Harcourt restrained the National PDP chairman, financial secretary, and the organizing secretary from conducting the congresses in River State. On Tuesday, another high court in Abuja okayed the conduct of the congresses and restrained DSS, INEC, police, and 7 others from doing anything to stop the Congress bid to be held next month. Meanwhile, expectations are high across various communities in River State as many residents believe that the full financial autonomy of local government will foster development in their areas. Our correspondent spoke with indigents and residents in over 10 local government areas. Some residents of Opobonkoro local government area highlighted the need for skill acquisition programs and the construction of potable pipe-borne water systems in communities such as Epelema, Menima, and Kalagama.
The financial autonomy should be able to enable the chairman to carry out empowerment programs for the youth, payment of bursary for the students in higher institutions, and then introducing programs that will help cushion the effects of this economic hardship.
Opobo is the riverine area, and when you're doing road in such places, you need to do a solid road. We have Kalibiama, we have Epelema, we have Queenstown, we have Minima. Even the Nkoro that is under Opobo too, they need development. Good water. You must not go and drink well water. Not that anytime I'm going to Opobo, I'll buy sleep well, I'll buy bottled water and go. Some people cannot afford buying those water.
For now, we have a road linking Opobo, which is better. We also need agricultural, or seashore, the trawler kind of fishing ports. It will boost economical value, and the people will have something to sustain them.
Recall that the Supreme Court granted full financial autonomy to the 774 local government areas in Nigeria. Previously, local government funds were deposited into a joint account managed by state and local government. But with this autonomy, local government will now receive their 20.6% share of the federal monthly revenue allocations directly into their accounts. In other news, the Minister of Works, David Umahi, says the Eleme-One axis of the East-West Road will be fully completed in December. The minister said this shortly after inspecting federal road project in River State on Monday. He also told newsmen that Section 3A from Eleme Junction to One Port Junction, which will have 8 lanes, is expected to be ready within 2 weeks.
But the interesting thing is the method of construction and the redesign. When we came on board, we redesigned this project. It's 15 kilometers to Lies, which is 30 kilometers. 4 carriageway or 8 lanes. And that's what the design is. By the presidential marching order, RCC commit to finish the 2 carriageway by the end of this year. That is December.
The Works Minister said the ongoing rehabilitation of Okobe Section 3 of the East-West Road in River State should be completed in 6 weeks.
We give 6 weeks. If 6 weeks this job is not done, then there will be a problem for every contractor that is here. So Setraco has to totally and fully remobilized. We didn't take the job over from them, and it's not their fault. We only added some emergency relief covered, even though the timing came late. And the Ministry of Works, you can't just start work without approval from Ministry, BPP. We have to live with that and do the much we can do. But the good thing is that these 2 local contractors started this work without being paid, even up to now.
On the Okobe-Aholder section, where some roads were affected by floods, the minister told the contractors to ensure that all inherited federal road projects are delivered of the highest standard. Now, the military has warned that it won't allow anarchy to befall Nigeria. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, said this during a press briefing in Abuja today. General Buba alleged that the organizers of the planned protest intend to replicate the recent protest-turned-anarchy demonstration in Kenya. General Buba said although citizens have a right to ventilate their grievances, the military won't condone any form of violent gatherings or protest. The federal government has repatriated 158 irregular Nigerian migrants from Libya. Nigeria's chargé d'affaires to Libya, Ambassador Mohammed said this in a statement yesterday. Mohammed said the group of evacuees comprised 77 males, 45 females, 26 children, as well as 10 infants. Mohammed said that the repatriation was a collaborative effort between the mission and the Libyan authorities. Still to come, building collapse kills 5 workers in Lagos. Stay with us.
Stay on track with Nigeria Info.
And PFN bestowing bishops.
Talking about Mourinho and AS, Paulo Dybala have joined forces with Mourinho.
And then so the aviation workers also want to join the strike.
More access to all the top stories and more.
Let's talk.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
You're welcome back, and now the rest of the news. Now, investigation has revealed that the teaching of English language subjects in schools in River State is now a challenge. Our correspondent who monitored the situation across schools in the state reports that English teachers teach in overcrowded classrooms, with a class containing nearly 150 students. Speaking of the challenges they face, a teacher in one of the public schools in Obiakpo local government area who prefers to be anonymous tells our correspondent that the burden is too much to bear. Now, she teaches 4 classes, with each class made up of 3 arms of 50 students each, a total of 600 students to teach and grade their papers. The teacher also complained of the work attitude of the core members assigned to her. Another teacher in one of the rural areas in River State who agreed to speak to a correspondent said many of the English teachers are not qualified to teach the English language.
There are people who teach English language who are not qualified to teach. In some schools, especially in the rural areas, we don't have any qualified English language teacher. So those who teach the language are people who feel that they can teach the language or people who volunteer. But the challenge we have is that, especially at the junior level, when they come to the senior secondary, you have to teach a lot. You have to help them unlearn a lot of wrong concepts.
The teacher, who does not also want her name mentioned, spoke on why many students fail English language.
When people go for international exams like IELTS and TOEFL and so on, the language is assessed based on the skills, not the way we do it here. They assess reading separately, listening, writing, and speaking. But that's not the way we teach it here. We teach everything together. And sometimes we don't even teach some aspects. So these are some of the reasons why the learners don't learn well.
She also faltered the River State Ministry of Education's approach of not having a unified scheme of work.
There is no uniform scheme of work for River State. The private schools use theirs, like big private schools combine curriculums from different countries. But the smaller private schools, they just, WAEC, NECO, JAMB, and so on. And then for the public schools, the teachers just teach what they are comfortable with. You create your own scheme and cover it. Then if there is no uniformity, but the exams are uniform, how do you expect them to all perform well?
Away from that, 5 workers died when a building under construction collapsed this morning in Arowojobe Estate, Maryland, Lagos. The building under construction collapsed at 3:45 a.m. The managing director of the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, Olufemi Damilola Oke Osaitolu, said 5 persons, all adult males, were rescued alive from the building collapse site. In business, stakeholders in the oil and gas sector have urged the federal government to urgently intervene to avert possible scarcity of product following the rift between Aliko Dangote and NNPCL management over the quality of the product and the license of his refinery. A member of the Petroleum Products Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria, Petro One, in River State, Emmanuel Inimwa, in an interview with correspondent Obioroware, said the regulatory agencies in the oil and gas sector should carry out further investigation into the claims put forward by Aliko Dangote.
It was like more a power play, a game on it. My take is federal government should look into this issue, make sure the masses do not suffer. So you can see what is playing now. Dangote has come up to now refute those claims. Who suffers it? It is me and you. The regulatory agency must be careful, saying that you don't just come up and make statements. Because Dangote has come up openly to even talk about the refinery. He has also come up openly to show the lab he has. While we see a wait for NNPCL or to respond to what he has done, the product from his refinery is one of the best in the world.
On the spot, a human rights activist and the coordinator of People's Advocate Courage in Removal frowned at the threat by the NNPCL management not to sell crude to the Dangote refinery.
So for the Nigerian government to say, no, we will not give you crude, and the crude is not free of charge, it's something he will buy, and then you make him buy from the United States of America. If he does that, whatever byproducts that comes from that will definitely be expensive. Federal government should rethink its policy and encourage local content and local industry in Nigeria for the interest of Nigerians, for the interest of entrepreneurs.
Recall that recently the Aliko Dangote and NNPCL management have been involved in accusations and counter-allegations over the accountability and quality assurance issues in the oil and gas sector. In entertainment, rapper Sean Diddy Combs has been implicated in an alleged connection to the murder of Tupac Shakur, with court documents claiming he paid $1 million to have the late rap icon killed. In sports, retired table tennis player and 5-time Olympian Bose Kafo has called on Nigerian male athletes to raise their game at Paris 2024 Olympics, emphasizing that the country's hopes for medals cannot solely rest on female athletes. And on the international scene, a police officer has been suspended after a video circulated online of a man being kicked and stamped on the head. At Manchester Airport, Greater Manchester Police confirmed that the officer had been removed from all duties after a thorough review of further information of the incident, which took place on Tuesday. The force said it understood the deep concerns that had been widely raised after the video sparked a protest outside Rochdale Police Station.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
That's a wrap on the news this afternoon. Before we go, let's have a look at the major stories. The police have fired tear gas at Health Care Center in Port Harcourt Metropolis. The Port Harcourt-based lawyer Vincent Chukwu has expressed worry that the conflicting court orders in Rivers' political crisis may affect the image of the judiciary. The military has warned the 1st August protesters against anarchy. Building collapse in Maryland, Lagos has killed 5 people. And on the foreign scene, police officer has been suspended after the Manchester Airport kick-in video. The news was edited by Onyeka Chinwusu. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I'm Ifechukwu Monyele. Many thanks for listening.